Weeks of the monsoon session of Parliament, and there's been virtually no business of any worth that's been transacted in either house. We've seen the opposition protesting on price rise. At least 27 opposition MPs have gotten suspended. Things went a notch up when Congress MP Adhir Ranjan Chowdhury referred to President Murmu as Rashtrapatni. The BJP was ballistic. They've been demanding an apology. And 48 hours later, Mr. Chowdhury has written to the president and expressed regret. He has apologized for the phrase that he used. So, will Parliament now be allowed to function starting Monday?
मैं द्रौपदी मुर्मू
एक बार राष्ट्रपति निकल गई, चूक हुई।
विशेषता अधीर रंजन का देखते हुए सोनिया गांधी जी माफी मांगना चाहिए।
अगर एक चूक हो गई, वो भी मैं मान लिया कि मेरा चूक हो गई।
All right, we're still in conversation on the debate tonight. Syed, Zafar of the BJP and Mahima Singh of the Congress are joining us. Zafar, let's start with the latest, which is Mr. Adhir Ranjan Chowdhury has now written to the president and said that he's apologizing for the remarks. Will now Parliament work from Monday?
See, first, Parliament should function, and it is the responsibility of the opposition as well to let the Parliament function, let that business be transacted. But let me tell you very candidly that this apology from Mr. Adhir Ranjan will not work. The party acting chief, Sonia Gandhi ji, must apologize to the president, because at the end of the day, he is part of her team. He is LOP, and the entire Congress under Sonia Gandhi ji has supported him, Adhir Ranjan Chowdhury initially, and he made derogatory remarks against a women president, especially because she comes from a marginalized section of the society, from Adivasi community, and something which actually has not gone down well with the Congress party, and that's why they are making this kind of remarks. It's not only Adhir Ranjan Chowdhury, but then all Congress parties are unhappy with her elevation as.
Okay, so Mahima saying the point that the BJP is making is it's not just not just Adhir Ranjan Chowdhury. It's also Sonia Gandhi who has to apologize. A, because she's a woman who heads the principal opposition party, and she is the one who appointed Adhir Ranjan Chowdhury as leader of the opposition in the lower house. Therefore, she is the one who should apologize.
Well, it was only earlier this year that our Prime Minister said, Beti Bachao, Beti Patao. And I feel, one did not see a speck of a regret on his face or in his tone, let alone coming out tendering an apology to the daughters of India, of which Ms. Murmu is also a part. Our Honorable President today is also a daughter of the country. I, as a daughter of the country, feel utterly offended, feel utterly disturbed that my Prime Minister on a national platform comes out and says, Beti Bachao, Beti Patao, such outrageous words, and let alone an apology. I already said, there's not even a speck of regret. There's not even a speck of disappointment.
But ma'am, let's talk about what Adhir Ranjan Chowdhury said. Do you or do you not believe that it was an insult to the president of this country, especially that she is the first ever tribal woman president?
As I said earlier, Congress party and entire Congress leadership is supporting Adhir Ranjan Chowdhury.
Okay, one second. Let her answer the question. Let her answer the question that I asked. Let Mahima Singh answer the question I asked. Do you or do you not believe, ma'am, it's a straight up question, that Adhir Ranjan Chowdhury was wrong? He should not have referred to the president in the words that he used.
Mr. Jacob, is my question also not straight up? That should the Prime Minister have apologized?
Ma'am,
the
response to my question cannot be another question.
My leader, I already started with a question, Mr. Jacob. I already questioned whether the Prime Minister should have regretted.
Ma'am, I asked you a question. Do you have a response to my question? Your response to my question cannot be another question.
I will say what my opinion is, how I feel about the situation. However, as I was already saying, My leader, Mr. Adhir Ranjan Chowdhury, has already come out and regretted the slip of tongue. Has the Prime Minister regretted the slip of tongue? And I've only mentioned the slip of tongue right now. I have not even come to the Congress ki Vidva, the Shul Panaka ka Atahas, and all the other outrageous remarks that the Prime Minister has ever made on women politicians in the past.
I don't know if it was a slip of the tongue. I don't know if it was deliberate. Fact is that Adhir Ranjan Chowdhury said what he said, and now he has apologized. He has apologized on TV. He's apologized in that letter to the president. Can we now move on? And the people of India are asking, will Parliament function? Why are we paying for this dysfunction?
Zakaf, there are two things. First, that whether it was a deliberate attempt or it was a slip of tongue. Anybody who has seen the video will clearly tell you that it was a deliberate attempt. Not once, repeatedly he said, first he said Rashtrapati, and then of course he was as his best in making these kind of wrong remarks. Secondly, it was a derogatory, and Sonia Gandhi ji should have come out and made the statement that it was a wrong statement made by her LOP, and the party apologizes the Honorable President. But she didn't do that. Everybody, including Mahima here, supporting Adhir Ranjan Chowdhury, and they're saying it was a slip of tongue. Say very candidly, no, it was not a slip of tongue. It was a deliberate attempt. It was intentionally made this kind of a statement, because if you have seen the video, only fool will say that it was a slip of tongue. It was not.
No, so
Secondly,
what is the point you're making? No, Zafar, what I want to know is, okay, it was deliberate. Let's buy your argument. But he's now apologized, right? Can we move on?
No, his apology will not work, because he has been asked. When it is deliberate, then he is speaking at the behest of someone else, and who can be someone else?
No, Mahima saying, can't the Congress party take a slightly, elevated view of this and say, okay, whether it was deliberate, whether it was slip of the tongue, let's leave that aside. He has said what he has said. By virtue of the fact that your party is headed by a woman, she's taking a bigger view, a bigger picture, and saying, okay, on behalf of the Congress party, I'm apologizing to the president. Let's collectively then move on.
Why is all the generosity expected out of the Congress party in this country? I want to, let's just talk point to point, Mr. Jacob. Let me just ask you, is Beti Bachao, Beti Patao...
We are not expecting...
No, you made that point, ma'am. You made that point.
We are not expecting civility.
One second. You made that point.
Mahima, we are not expecting generosity. We are expecting civility from you.
If a boy would say Beti Bachao, Beti Patao...
No, you made that point. You made that point in your previous answer. I'm asking you a simple question.
Can I just come in?
One second, Zafar. One second. I'm asking, ma'am. The reason why. No, ma'am. The reason.
I haven't made my point, and the point has not been allowed to be made.
Okay, make your point.
I just wish to ask you a simple question. We have seen Adhir Ranjan Chowdhury come out and say that mujhse chook ho gayi, it was a slip of tongue. Did we? Yes, we did. Now there's an apology also, and there is an appointment also that he'll seek with the president. But did we ever see the Prime Minister, regret to the slightest of the extent that, so sorry, this was a slip of tongue, that I did not mean to disappoint the daughters of my country.
Ma'am, okay, you made that point. Now can I ask you a question? No, can I ask you a question? No, 1 second, Zafar, 1 second. Ma'am, for the last 1 week, the opposition, no, 1 second. The opposition has been asking, Mahima Singh, 1 second. For the last 1 week, opposition has been asking for a discussion on price rise and GST. You have both in Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha, you've been asking for a discussion on price rise and GST. Last 2 days, this issue has held up that discussion. For the interests of your own, for your own interest, which is to have this discussion on price rise and GST, can Sonia Gandhi apologize to the president, and can we all get a move on? So that on Monday we have a debate on the issue that you want to have a debate on for the last 1 week.
My leader has been heckled in the parliament, on the floor of the parliament, by the Women and Child Development Minister. It is the Women and Child Development Minister who blatantly lies to the country. Ms. Smriti Irani, who should come upfront and apologize to my leader. Ms. Jaya Bachchan has made a statement today. Ms. Mahima has made a statement. We have dozens of witnesses who testify that my leader one of the senior most members of the parliament in the country was heckled by Smriti
Zafar,
Irani, the woman in
Zafar
child
respond.
development minister of this
Zafar
country.
respond.
I, as a woman,
Okay,
I
let him
said-
respond. Let him respond.